Hey guys, so a while back I did a bunch of videos analyzing the 2021 data leak, and this data leak contained information about new Dota 2 heroes, and one of the heroes that I analyzed in this data leak is the Shadow Wraith, and in that video I kept the identity of the Shadow Wraith hero a secret, and I told you guys I will talk about him in detail later on, because the information I found about the Shadow Wraith hero was too big to put in one video. So this is one of many videos where I'm going to talk about the information I found about the Shadow Wraith, and this is part 3 of the Shadow Wraith videos, where I'm going to talk about the fact that the Shadow Wraith is another HoN hero port that supports my HoN Dota 2 merge theory. But before we start this video, I recommend you guys to watch all of the Shadow Wraith related videos in the correct order, because all of them are in a specific order and they are all connected. So go check out the previous Shadow Wraith videos before watching this video, and the links for all of the Shadow Wraith videos are in the description box below. But if you guys already watched those previous videos, let's begin. So in the previous Shadow Wraith videos, I said that the Shadow Wraith hero is Dwin the Penance Seeker, and he resembles Nocturne from League and Pharaoh from HoN. But as I researched further, I found out that the Shadow Wraith hero is another data leak hero that is also based on a HoN hero, and he is based on the HoN hero named Nomad, because both of these heroes' abilities seem to match perfectly. So let's compare their abilities. The Nomad's first ability is called Sandstorm. Sandstorm is an ability that allows the Nomad to envelop himself and nearby allies in a cyclone of sand, which sounds a lot like the Dust Devil ability and its sub-ability Enshroud, because Dust Devil literally means a small cyclone of dust, and the Enshroud spell might actually be referring to the buff and the debuff that the Sandstorm ability applies on both allies and enemies, called Sand Veil and Sand Blasted respectively. And then he have an ability called the Mirage Strike, which has two sub-abilities called True Strike and Mirage Strike. So this might be the Cruel Edge ability, and its two sub-abilities called Simmer Stone Blades and the Snake Venom Blades that the Shadow Wraith hero has. The True Strike ability grants extra damage and then gives bonus attack speed for 3 seconds, while this Mirage Strike ability does something similar to Phantom Lancer's old Doppelwalk ability, where the Nomad goes invisible and an illusion is created to attack an enemy. Both of these abilities are very different from what I predicted for the Shadow Wraith Simmer Stone Blades and the Snake Venom Blade abilities. But personally I still stand by the prediction I made for these abilities in my data leak analysis. I say this because judging by the names of these Shadow Wraith's abilities, they seem to match my prediction more than the Nomad's abilities, where I said that these two abilities are two toggleable versions of the Cruel Blade's ability, where the Simmer Stone Blade applies a similar effect to Blightstone and the Snake Venom Blades applies something similar to Orb of Venom. So my guess is that the Shadow Wraith's Cruel Blade's ability and its sub-abilities will be different from Nomad's Mirage Strike ability and its sub-abilities. But anyways, let's move on to Nomad's next ability, and his next ability is called Wanderer, which is an ability that grants bonus damage as a critical strike based on the distance that you have traveled, and it seems like it could be the Phantom ability, but frankly it's a fairly simple spell than I anticipated, because what I predicted for this spell is that it will be a spell that allows the Shadow Wraith to fly onto an enemy, latch onto them and start attacking them, kinda like Grimstroke's Phantom Embrace ability. But in this case the Phantom is the Shadow Wraith himself, and while the Shadow Wraith is latched onto the enemy, both of these targets are considered as one unit, and thus they will share the damage, and the Shadow Wraith can use his Phantom Cancel ability to detach from the target based on the situation. The fact that the Shadow Wraith's Phantom ability have a sub-ability called Phantom Cancel, and the fact that the Wanderer ability is a passive ability, makes me think that the Shadow Wraith's Phantom ability is not going to be a direct port but a reworked version of the Wanderer ability, and might end up as a toggleable passive ability similar to Phantom Lancer's Phantom Rush ability. Or maybe it might actually turn out the way that I predicted this ability to be, because this Wanderer ability is a weird ability that requires you to move around just to proc a critical strike, which makes it hard to utilize. Meanwhile, my version of the Phantom ability fits the Shadow Wraith's theme of being a ghostly assassin-like hero perfectly. So yeah. But anyways, let's move on to Nomad's ultimate ability called Edge Counter, which is a defensive spell. So I think it might be the Wall of Sand ability that the Shadow Wraith hero has, because like its name suggests, it's a wall, so it has a high chance that it might also be a defensive ability just like this Edge Counter ability. And the fact that this Edge Counter ability lasts 1 second and releases a shockwave when attacked makes me think that the Wall of Sand ability is going to cover the Shadow Wraith, sort of like Clockwork's Power Cogs. And when the enemies attack this Wall of Sand, it absorbs the damage, because sand is actually a very good shock absorber, and after it absorbs the damage or the shock, it breaks down because it's made out of sand, while also releasing the shock that it absorbed from the damage in a form of a shockwave as the wall collapses by falling onto the enemy who attacked the wall. And this would also explain the damage reduction aspect that lingers after this spell, because it's like the leftover sand of this wall sort of covers the body of the Shadow Wraith for a while before falling off. But anyways, that concludes the comparison between the Shadow Wraith's abilities and the Nomad hero's abilities. So it seems like the predictions I made in my data leak analysis video seems to be a bit off, because I'm not a HoN player, so I don't really know about all the HoN heroes in detail. So I'm pretty happy about the predictions that I made in that video, because I got really close. But anyways, all of this shows that the Shadow Wraith hero is definitely a port of the HoN hero called Nomad. So this is another clue that supports my Great Confluence theory, where I said that the Great Confluence is going to be the merging of HoN and Dota 2. And if you guys haven't watched those videos I made about the Great Confluence, I'll leave the links for those videos in the description box below, so you guys can check them out if you like. But anyways, you you may have noticed that the Shadow Wraith and the Nomad seems to be a bit different from each other, like in the case of the Cruel Edge ability not being a direct copy of the Mirage Strike ability. And this is probably because, as you guys know, although Dota 2 and HoN are very similar, these two games are a bit different. So these differences between these two heroes might be reworks that are done to make this HoN hero better fit in with the Dota 2 roster. And if you guys look at the Nomad's abilities, some of them are very similar to Phantom Lancer's abilities, so this might also be another reason for these reworks. So I'm pretty sure that Dwin will be released as a reworked version of the Nomad hero, and will not be a direct port of his HoN counterpart. Speaking of all these changes, it seems like Dwin's clothing choice have also changed over his development, because his old concept art show that he was supposed to wear armor, but they seem to have changed his clothing to resemble the clothing that the HoN Nomad wears. His design also seems to have taken some aspects from other HoN heroes too, and one of them is Pharaoh from HoN, because his clothing resembles the bandages of an Egyptian mummy, and his ghost-like appearance and his sand-related spells makes him sort of like the Sand Wraith hero from HoN. And his genie-inspired design also looks a lot like that of Salomon, so it seems like the Shadow Wraith also have taken some inspiration from these three heroes despite being a port of the Nomad hero. So yeah, that's it for this video guys, and this was part 3 or the final part of the Shadow Wraith videos. So what do you guys think about Dwin being a possible port of the Nomad hero from HoN? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, because I'm curious to know what you guys think about all this. Also guys, I'm currently working on some theory videos that involves Dwin, and videos about those theories will be out in the future, and one of those theory videos is almost done, so that video will be out soon, so stay tuned for that. But till then, you guys can go check out the other videos that I mentioned in this video if you haven't watched them yet, and I'll leave the links for all of the Shadow Wraith videos and all of the other videos that I mentioned in this video in the description box below, so you guys can check out those videos if you like. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and with that said, don't forget to like, share and subscribe and turn on notifications for more videos like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.